It was the storm to surpass all other storms. A 1,000-year flood event that would permanently change the landscape in Florida. Perhaps parts of it would remain underwater permanently. Who knows? But one thing we do know, it would change everything. And it changed literally nothing. It has only been 10 days since Hurricane Ian was only a tropical storm in the Caribbean Sea. That's right. It was only 10 days ago. If you want to talk about mind control, if you want to talk about psychological operations, look no further than the mainstream media. But to quote one of the great philosophers of our era, where's the kaboom? There was supposed to have been an earth-shattering kaboom, Marvin the Martian. Only 10 days. And it's not on anybody's radar, figuratively and literally. Nobody's talking about Florida anymore. Oh, if you go to the Weather Channel, they might have a couple little personal interest pieces. But the cameras have all picked up, and they've all left because they can't monetize your misery anymore. Oh, they could, but they have things that they can make more money off of now. This is why we talk so much about psychological operations, how it pervades every single part of your life daily. That's if you own a phone. Do you own a phone? Do you have a laptop? Do you follow any news online, digitally? If you do, you need to be read in on psychological operations, military level psychological operations, pardon me, because they're using them every single day. A week ago, it was all the world could fixate on. This storm so big that other hurricanes could have fit within its eye. It was so monstrous, and it was going to be completely unrecoverable. Join us. Join us over at Patreon. It's only $1 per month. One. And we'll show you step by step how they do this, the language they use, how they get you sucked in and keep you from tuning out. They know exactly what language to use, the tone of voice to use it in. They even know what imagery to put in front of you. You see, this is my video page right here, and I documented this entire thing because I knew what was coming, because I remember what happened with Hurricane Michael. Even the governor even the governor made a reference to it in one of his press conferences where he said, boy, we had this huge storm, Michael, come up to the Panhandle, and boy, the cameras were everywhere for a little bit, but then they left when they couldn't monetize it anymore. But here we go. 10 days ago, I make my first video about this when it's just a pile of clouds south of Cuba. That was 10 days ago. 4 days ago. I talk about right after it hit when the power came back on. And now here we are. We got a mom's mysterious money transfer just before she was some local story. The VP stumbling over her words. Tom Brady's drama that somehow he screwed up his life so bad that he is now losing Gisele Bündchen. I mean, I don't care how many Super Bowls you have. If you got married to Gisele Bündchen and you screwed that up, I mean, this is what they're talking about. Bond girls and Hall of Fame names on jersey. It's just ridiculous. They don't care. Why? Because they can't monetize it. They can no longer, I mean, they can, but there are things that are selling more ads than Ian. See, we still have the donation pages up for the disaster relief fund, and people said it's going to be tens of billions of dollars in damage, and only millions have been raised. It's all fake. This is exactly what I alleged 10 days ago. I said, mark my words, it doesn't matter whether it peters out and just stays a tropical storm, or it becomes a medium hurricane or a small hurricane or a huge hurricane like Ian, it doesn't matter. Because in 2 weeks, and this is what I said, go back and listen to my video. In 2 weeks, nobody will be talking about it. In 2 weeks, no matter what happens, nobody will be talking about it. Because they have bigger fish to fry. They need to make money. And that's all it's about. You see, this is the key. They hide behind one thing, saying the public has a right to be informed. The public has a right to be informed. It's not about informing the public. They don't care about saving lives. They don't care about getting people the aid they need. They care about making money. This is an article from today. Secret societies, harmless members-only clubs, or dire threats to democracy. A curious feature of our modern times is the number of secret societies operating in our midst, setting the global agenda behind closed doors. Now, I get this all the time in my comment section, but isn't there a right to privacy? Isn't there a right to freedom of association? You see, it's the state's duty, in a free country, to protect our right to freedom of association, freedom of expression, freedom of assembly, whether in public or in private. We can associate with who we want to, we can assemble together in those groups, and we can express ourselves. Those are time-honored freedoms. See, there are most people talk about the 10th Amendment, and Patriot Nurse referenced this in her super popular one of her most recent videos, 650,000 views. She talks about the 10th Amendment and the Convention of States. 10th Amendment to the Constitution says the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution nor prohibited by it to the states are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. But the real story here isn't the 10th. The 10th is just a reiteration and a clarification of the 9th. See, that right to privacy? That's what this whole storm was about. These conglomerate media people were violating people's right to privacy for money. Let me say that again. Fox, CNN, Weather Channel, all those places that ran out all that misery were violating people's 9th Amendment right, not because they were trying to inform the world, but because they were trying to make money. And we see this now. There are still people who need help. There are still people in Florida who haven't been restored. Why are they not informing the world, continuing to inform the world of that, more so than other things? The 9th Amendment, that's something most people don't read, the enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. And that's where the 10th Amendment comes in, and they say, following that, the powers we don't specifically delegate to the United States federal government, nor prohibited by the states, are reserved to the states and to the people. Meaning we have a right to privacy. We have a right to not have our misery monetized and not even share in that monetary gain. The only reason Fox, CNN, ABC, all these places were down here was to make money. And that is what I said 10 days ago. They don't care about getting people out of the storm's path. They don't care about getting relief to Florida and helping folks and informing everyone. They don't care about that. If they did, they would still be here. But they're not. And the rescues are still going on. And for example, if you tried to monetize, I've talked about this before, all these young ladies who are selling themselves and images of themselves online, if you would try to monetize anything for yourself, anything they hadn't monetized or given away for free, you'd be sued in court. Why can't these people sue? Why can't these people say, hey, I saw my picture in a boat on Fox and on CNN getting rescued from floodwaters, and you were selling ad time during that. I didn't give release. This isn't fair use. This is not what they're doing. And this is the reality when they warn of secret societies. You see, you're allowed to have secret societies. You're allowed to have not only private property, but private rights to your own image. That's what makes these very young girls so incredibly smart. They've realized something. That their image is monetizable. Their very essence of self is monetizable. And just to be very clear, this picture was put out for free. No one paid for this picture. Otherwise, I'd be in big trouble. There's no difference between these two. None whatsoever. All the owners of these homes, they have a right to not have their misery be made a for-profit event by big media. And go back and listen to what I had said. Fox, CNN now pushing fake make-believe. Because for them it is. Fake make-believe hurricane coverage. It doesn't matter. And at the time, remember, it wasn't even a hurricane when I put out this video. And they were talking about where the hurricane was going to land. Whether it was going to be in Apalachicola, Mobile, Alabama, or Tampa. At the time. So this is what I wanted to cover today, and this is the very root of psychological operations. When literally nobody talks about this, but everybody sees it. When everybody sees something and nobody reacts to what's obviously there, PsyOps 101. Would you like to get read in on military level psychological operations? Where they can literally show you something that is wildly amoral, wildly immoral in some cases, and nobody does anything about it. In fact, in some cases, they applaud. If you'd like to get read in on the tactics and techniques that allow them to do that, join us. Join us at Patreon. It's only $1 per month. Even less if you sign up for an entire year. And, unlike with the mainstream media, if after up to 3 months, you're not satisfied with the content, full refunds available. So I'll leave it there. God bless. Like, share, subscribe, and we will see you guys next time.